זו הפרשת פנחס ליום רביעי. אמר רבי אלעזר, תנינן, כל מה אמר תהילה לדוד בכל יום תהילה זמנים, יראו פרנשה ומדעתי, והייתמר טעמה. אי בגין פרנסה ומזונה דכל עלמה. תרן זמנין עינון בכל יומה, בספחה ובפניה. תכתיב, ותת השם לכם בערב בשר וגומר. אמר תהילה זמנין בכל יומה. Rabbi Elazar says, the one that says 3 times, the Psalm Tehila Ledavid, 3 times during the day, has the merit of the Olam Haba. And if you ask why, why is it necessary to say it 3 times a day? Right? Because we know that in this Psalm, we say Potach et Yadecha u'Masbiach Ratzon, right? Which would be he nourishes us and give us what we need. If it was for the parnasa just to eat, it should be only 2 times, right? We need to eat in the morning, right, and at night. Why is it 3 times? And we know that we said 1 in Pesukei de Zimra, 1 after Ubalit Sion, right, and 1 in Mincha. ומשיב אילן תרין למזונה דבלין אנשי דכל העלמה ואחד המעט תוקפה להוא אתר תפתחו ידוי ותרין זמוזני אילן משנה אדם מידה. Says we know that 2 times it's for the mezonot, for the nourishment of man. That includes the rich and the poor. And the second time is for all the rest of the creatures, for the animals, etc. And the third time is to reinforce the one that gives this nourishment, which is Sefira Malchut, right? I mean, it goes to Sefira Malchut and she gives it to this Olam Asiyah. So then the third time is to reinforce her. וכולו תלעד מזונה בכתיבך, ואתה נותן להם לתאכלה ביתו, ואתה מזונה דעתירד יהיב מחלה סגי ביתו אחד. And so we said this 3 times, right? 1 time to the rich and the poor, 1 time to the animals, and 1 time to the chazek, to reinforce the malchut. We see that the first one, when we take one part and we say, you give them the bread in its time. This is for the rich, because they do get bread in its time, and they get a lot. And then it's written, Mazbiach lechol chay ratzon, yidam mezona de miskine, de imut seveid me ratzon, velo migo mechalaskod. And you give all living his will. We can also interpret it by saying that he gets, like the poor, he gets his will, but he doesn't get a lot of food. So he has a will to eat, but he has no food to go with it, or very little. The third time, Dirtiv, Potach et Yadecha, Datukfa lehu atar de petichu yado nafat atzon besora lekola. You open your hands, this is to reinforce the Sfira Malchut that opens her hand to give to all the Israel and all the people in the world and all the creatures, etc. דאילן חיוב על ברנש ואי אמר יתיר לה בקין חובה דאו אלא בקין דשבחה ותושבחה דסבירות דוד מלכה. מה טעמה? בגין דפרנסה לא חזה למשאל אלא בתר סלותה ופרנסה דמרי. מלכה יחול בקדמיתה ובתר יחילון עבדוי. We have learned that it is the chiyuv, it is obligatory only to say 2 times, right, for the parnasa. 1 in before Ubaritzion and 1 in Mincha. That's what is obligatory. And if you ask why we say the first one, he says this is just it's only a praise, right? That's what we say it in the middle of Pesukei de Zimra. What is the reason? He says because why the first time doesn't really count. He says because it is more proper to ask after the tefillah. Why? Because we see that during the tefillah of the Amidah, we bring the shefa to the Sfira Malchut. So it's proper to ask for the parnasa and for mazon after the Sfira Malchut receives and is ready to give again. So like we said, the king eats first and then gives to his servants. It is written like that. When said Bati Regani, we were talking about the Parnasa of the king. After Ichru Lehim, Achati Yerida Tzilota Dem Yoshev. When we say that, this corresponds to the tefillah of when we are sitting, which is the tefillah of Yotzech. Im divshi dat keriyat shema, and when we say with divshi, with my honey, this is keriyat shema. Achadi alim salota dem Yoshev, ahu ya'al levanon yoseh or. This is the tefillah of when we are sitting down. That we stimulate this stove. In this of Olam Aberia, right? Because we know Yotzer, we have Olam Aberia, and Bufriyat Shema before we go in Olam Atzilut, which will be at the Amidah. And we say Ve'ofani, V'chayot HaGodesh, Kolen Yikrun Ya'ar, Elanin, V'nitzivin Dibei. This is all this camps of angels. That's what we call them, because they are in Olam HaYetzirah, right before Olam Aberia. Im Divshi Da Keriyat Shema. So with my honey, this is Kriyat Shema. Because of the Kriyat Shema, we appease all the rigors, right? So the entrance to Olam HaTziyut will be possible. So and when we say I drink my wine, this we're talking about the Amidah. This corresponds to the what we call Yayin, A'ilan Mishumar, the wine that is kept in the higher realms. And the three berachot, the first three berachot, this is because this wine that we said that is Meshubal, that is kept in the higher realms, correspond to the three most important berachot of the Amidah. The three first one, Im Chalavi, with my milk, this corresponds to the three last berachot of the Amidah, but they include one in the other. Ad kan mechila de malka de batar de chal malka achlu leim leila shetu v'shchlu dodim v'tata. After that the king has eaten, in other words, that the shefa, the abundance, was drawn from the higher realms to the Sifira Malchut, and the king has received it, then he can give it. So he gives it to all the Olamot, which is Beria, Yetzirah, Ve'asiyah. So that's what is written, Shetu v'shichu dodim. Drink and drink a lot, my dear ones. We're talking about Bnei Israel in this world. Ve'ada let chiyuva de mezona ela levatar selota. Timilcha ba'erev kodem selota bata'ama. Begin the Adla, Ishtikar, Dina, Kashia, Ve'ode, and Pin the Marka. Say Tehila Ledavid, Ve'ayitzidurat de Mezona. Says so since the Shefa only comes after the Tefillah of the Amidah. Okay, so then there's no reason to ask for it before that, right? So the Ashke should be only after the Amidah. He says, yes, we said that. We explained that this was a praise, right? Because it's a mismor. But it says also why. What should be the right time? Then the right time should be after the Amidah of the Shachit. But also, Tefilat Mincha, he says why? Because in Mincha starts to have din in the world, which is rigors, right? The rigor starts from Tefilat Mincha and till the end of the night, or till Chatzot Halayla, and then he starts going down. He says, so that's what we say, because before the rigors come, this we ask for the Parnasa and the Mazon, that we should get it, as long as it's still Chesed in this world. Because after the rigors are in the world, there's no more time to ask for that. Rabbi Pinhas came and kissed him and says, how beautiful are your explanation. Amen.